Stanley, how many years you been doing the fest?
I think this is my 5th or 6th, I think.
How did you first find out about it?
What's that?
How did you first find out about it?
How did I first find out about it? I think I found out about it from you. And I said, at one of our writers' meetings at the grade school, you mentioned it. And I said, how long you been doing that? And you said, I don't know, 10 years or 8 years. And I said, why didn't you tell me earlier? Anyway, yeah, I've been enjoying it. I make my own cards every year. I got a lot of show and tell stuff just sitting here.
What attracted you to the idea of doing Popo in the first place?
I thought it was a really good discipline. And I get up and write every day from like 3 to 5 anyway. Even during this time, I was still getting up and writing, but not sitting and writing as much. There was a lot of intense things going on the last couple months. But what attracted me was the discipline. And so what I would do, I'd play my harmonium, write a little bit, and then I'd write the person's name that I was going to write the postcard to, and I'd really think about them for a while. Then I'd write them something.
You have some show and tell.
Oh, I do. See all these?
Oh.
These, American Prophets, Quiet Thoughts, Roger Cole, Billy Collins, Allen Ginsberg, 56 Days. Oh, I'm not showing them to you, am I? Did you see them? And Zen Shit and the Homeboys. And then this one that I just got recently from Paul. Anyway, all of those are manifestations of the Postcard Fest. I wouldn't have any of those without that fest.
Tell us about your postcard method. You sit down sometime in July or August, getting ready to write the next poem. How does it happen for you?
Okay. Mine, I pick out a card that I'm going to write on. And lately, the last couple of years, I've been using Sanskrit. And so that's my my awakening call. I kind of use that as a hello. And then I have, that's you squeaking, right?
Yeah.
I write I write the address out. And sometimes if it's an international one, which I try to write to all the international people that are on the list, because I figure they're doing they're putting a lot more postage on. I put the stamp on if I gonna be pressed for space. But I figure we get like 14 lines on a postcard, and we can say a lot in that.
Show us again your cards and tell us about the design and how you came up with that for the cards.
Well, for the one I used, actually the one I'm going to use for the Peace Fest in February is these. This is Keys to the Heart Sutra. And clear back when, this is the very first mantra I ever learned. When I read Be Here Now, I saw this Gate Gate Padagate Padasam Gate Bodhi Svaha, which means beyond, beyond the beyond, beyond the beyond the beyond. Hail to the goer. So I just put that on a postcard, and on the back I put what it means and sign my name, have the printer put my name on the bottom so that it's there. And then I usually relate something on the postcard to this.
Tell us about sending out bonus cards.
I love, you know what? You can hardly send enough postcards. It's fun. It is really fun to send postcards to people. And it's uplifting. Like I just sent one to a lady up in Canada who wasn't on my list, but she was in group 7 or 8 or 9 or something. But she was in the ModPo, which I'm also in because of this Popo Fest. And I sent her a postcard, a bonus postcard, and it was just a really nice hello and how are you and thank you for your participation.
You talked about how postcards are fun. What's fun about writing postcards?
Whew. Well, actually, the most fun that I've had I've been here 3 years now down in Deming, New Mexico. I always take my postcards right to the post office and I have them hand cancel them and send them off with love, because our post office goes through El Paso. Everything goes through El Paso. It gets stamped and sealed and whatever. But all of the people in our local post office here know me, and they come in and some of them put them up to their head and bless them, and one puts a couple kisses their fingers and puts them on the stamp. And I mean, it's really, really nice. That's fun. Well, for example, it's Emily Dickinson's birthday on the 10th. And I think it was Linda Roller put that the Emily Dickinson Museum was collecting postcards for her answer from the world. And I decided today, I woke up this morning and I said, well, I gotta send a postcard off to Emily Dickinson, and it's her birthday on the 10th, and if I mail it today, it'll get there. So I just sat down, tuned in with Emily, and wrote her an answer from the multiverse. And that was pretty good, actually. And I did take a picture of it, but I don't have it right here. But I went into the post office about noon, which, Christmas and busy, and there was a big line in our local post office. And I was standing there, and one of the ladies walked out, and she said, her name is Charlotte, actually, and she's just made supervisor, so that's kind of, but she came out and she said, is anybody just dropping off a package or picking up packages or whatever? I can help them. And she looked and she saw me and she said, do you have a postcard you'd like me to stamp and send off with love? And I said, yeah. She says, I can help you. And so I got to jump the whole line. I felt like Kurt Vonnegut going into his post office and buying his little mailers every day for his transcripts. Well, that's a long story, but it was just nice to. She turned the postcard all around, and I said, it's for Emily Dickinson's birthday. And she looked at me and I said, well, it's her Earth Day birthday on Tuesday. And so she stamped it and she says, well, happy birthday, Emily. And then she sent it off. So that was just today. I mean, those kind of things are, they're fun. They're part of the reason that I'm on the planet is to uplift and move and be creative. And the Postcard Fest has allowed me to be creative.
You mentioned the Facebook page. Can you talk about how the Facebook page for the Postcard Fest adds to your appreciation of the event or to the feeling of community?
Yes, I can talk about that. I look at that every day, Paul. And feel like I have connections with people all over the world through that Facebook page. And then there's a few of the people that have become really, really good friends. And that, you mentioned the bonus cards. Well, there's a lot of us that just send bonus cards almost before we send our 31, you know? And there's a whole group of people in Washington, D.C. that participate some years and some years they don't. And I've gotten to know that whole group. I feel like I'm part of their group, actually. So that's fun.
What about the Postcard Fest could be fixed?
What about the Postcard Fest could be fixed? Well, I pretty much like it. I think it can expand. I know your desire to have like 1,000 people in it it's a good vision. And what could I think it's expanding on its own, and it's there was a lot of new people this year. I think what was the name of the group that you get contacted?
Rattle,
yeah. And it enhances my creative ability every day to look at the list of people that I still need to send to and look at their names and see what, you know. It's uplifting for me.
what advice would you have for someone considering joining the fest?
Do it.
Why don't you read us one of your postcard poems?
Well, you know, I just saw that. But what I have here is these are the postcards from this year. And like this one that's on top here. Hot Flash Annie from Southwest Maine. And she's got she created all these boots with all the plants in it. Anyway, I keep all my postcards. This guy. Okay? That's Rick.
Nashner?
Yeah, his Stegosaurus. Said the cool old dinosaur on my grill. I cook 2/5 a score, said the Stego. That's fine to cook 8 at a time, but you see, I can only cook 4. And Rick, well, I don't have one of my postcards. I didn't bring them. I just saw that on your little thing. What I can say is the birthday postcard that I wrote for Emily. See, my background is in Slavic languages and literature. I know Slavic literature as better than anything I know in the U.S. And my poetry, Modpo, a couple years ago, I got into Modpo, and it was my introduction to Emily and to Allen Ginsberg and to Kerouac, to all of the stuff in the United States. I haven't really read American literature, but I do know that everyone has come through Gogol's Overcoat. That's my knowing that Dostoevsky and I have realized that there is nothing new under the sun, and everything came through Gogol's Overcoat. So.
Probably because a hole in a pocket.
Yeah.
Stanley, I'm grateful for your very inspired participation in Popo all these years, and I wish you much health and wellness and happiness in the years to come.
I'm doing Superstar. It's really been good for us to move down here to New Mexico. We have 360-degree view of mountains. We have a small writers group here, but they're pretty. I went to it for about a year and then I kind of dropped out. But my writers group is POPO, and the people. I mean, Mary Beth, Linda Roller, the Mary Beth Frazone, they're family, and we we send postcards back and forth all year. I mean, it's not just in August, and like I feel comfortable with, like, Linda Roller was the one that suggested Billy Collins' class in the master class. Well, now I've taken 6 classes in master class, and they're great. Ron Howard's directing class. A friend of mine and I wrote a play, and we're going to put it on as soon as I feel good enough to put it on. That's a 2-man play, and we wrote it we met 4 Thursdays in a row, and the whole play was done, 5 acts, and it's good. And we just changed the name of it to the Baloney Portal. It was called What's My Life, because we jump timelines and change lives, and it's really, really cool. But I'd never written a play before. Well, I did do one of the Mohawks. I did do a small play, but not, something that I really thought would be put on. We've already got 2 theaters that want us to put it on, so we just kind of showed it around. Anyway, I feel that being a part of the August Poetry Postcard Fest has allowed me to open up and expand my creativity a lot more than I would have without it. And the fact that you mentioned to me Allen Ginsberg playing the harmonium, he used to play all his poems on the harmonium, but he also went to the Hare Krishna Center in New York at 5 o'clock in the morning, whenever he was there, and played his harmonium and did his 116 rounds of Hare Krishna to help the people that were on bad trips or whatever, to help them come in. He consciously was doing that. And so Allen Ginsberg, well, my heroes have always been writers, but my Dostoevsky, Tolstoy, Allen Ginsberg, Paul Nelson is one of my heroes.
Can you take us out with a bit of harmonium?
I could. Hold on. So I've been going out into the parks around here. So that is the song they play at Amaji, beginning and ending, sometimes for hours. Satchidananda Guru, Jai Guru, Jai Guru. Wow. Hey, Paul. Paul?
Yes, Stanley.
Okay, because I can't see you, so I don't know. thank you for doing this. And I think you're going to have some really fun interviews with people. And I noticed you wanted 10, and I think you probably got 30 people that want to sign up already. So.
Well, we have 13, but I'm grateful that you've been one of them. And
oh, you have 13. Okay.
yeah, so far. So thanks, Stanley.
All right.
Be in touch, man.
Okay. Namaste.